Welcome to the B-side for September 2017. In this video, I'm going to tell you all of the records I got in this month and the albums I heard that I liked or didn't like. So you might have noticed our lighting is a little different. It's because our lights broke. Temporarily, we're getting it fixed. For the next couple videos, there might be a slightly different visual aspect to it. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't, but we'll be back to old lighting very soon. I did pretty well listening to the albums that I told you I would listen to this month, and I liked a lot of them. There were some that didn't quite make it, in my opinion, but let me tell you what I thought. LCD Soundsystem's American Dream. Now, I told you guys I was super excited for this release. I'm a huge fan of their early stuff. They broke up, I was devastated, they came back together. Wonderful. Their new album was good. I say that with slight hesitance because I listened to it once through and I really enjoyed it, but I haven't revisited it at all. In comparison, let me tell you that when I heard Brand New's new album, I listened to it about 15 times in the first week. Now, I'm not comparing the two albums, I'm not saying one is better than the other, but I am going to say that it didn't grab me in a sense of making me want to listen to it immediately again, which some of their earlier albums did. It didn't have some of those punchy, catchy hooks that I was kind of expecting, some of the edgy, ironic stuff that I really liked from their early albums. It was very somber, very heavy, still great lyrics, but overall, I wasn't immediately jazzed by it. I think it's a very solid listen. There wasn't a bad track on it. I need to go back and give it more listens because it's incredibly dense, and I don't think I could even begin to evaluate it off one. Rostam came out with his debut solo album, Half-Light. Now, huge Vampire Weekend fan. I really wasn't sure what to expect. With Vampire Weekend, you have Rostam's production and obviously his songwriting contributions, but Ezra's iconic voice is really what drives the music for me. So I was wondering without Ezra what an album would sound like with that Vampire Weekend essence, and I loved it. I thought it was one of the most sophisticated, interesting pop albums I've heard in a very long time. I actually picked up the Vinyl Me Please yellow variant because I know that once people realize how good this album is, it's going to sell out and people are going to be wishing they bought it. If you like Vampire Weekend, it definitely maintains that feel. Some of the songs actually feel like they could be B-sides if you ignore the fact that it's Rostam singing versus Ezra singing. If you like Vampire Weekend, I definitely recommend you give Half-Light a shot. I think you will not be disappointed. Speaking of interesting pop, 100 Waters Communicating. This was also a wonderful, shimmery vocaled album that had a lot of experimentation, oftentimes wrapping you in these vocal blankets of sound that just kept weaving and weaving their way around my ears. I loved it. It sounded a lot like Bjork at times in the sense that it was definitely your experimental vocals versus just very simplistic vocals in a pop song. I really like this album and I'm really excited for the record to come in because I got the limited edition with a sequin jacket. So hopefully that feels as cool as it sounds. The Killers put out their new album, Wonderful Wonderful. Now, as I mentioned, they were my favorite band in high school and I've liked every one of their albums, including Battleborn. So I was excited for this album. I heard The Man, did not like the single. I thought it was a little cheesy, thought it was missing some of the elements that I really love about the Killers. So the album came out and I was like, all right, time to listen, time to give it my real thoughts. And honestly, there wasn't even like one track that I would want to revisit. On one full listen, I was bored most of the way through. It felt a lot more like a Brandon Flowers solo album than a Killers album. And I like some of Brandon Flowers solo stuff, but when I know the Killers are putting out a new album, I expect something, and they just didn't deliver for me. I know that some of you may like this album, it's getting pretty okay reviews, but for me, this was a miss, and unfortunately, the Killers have lost me on this one. So if you liked it, let me know why, but I was really disappointed as a longtime fan. And that was my high school favorite band, so let's talk about my current favorite band, The National. They finally released their new album, Sleep Well Beast. I love The National. I think everything they've done is excellent. So much like the Killers, I was highly anticipating this release, and it lives up to expectation. Truth be told, the first time I listened to it, I was a little underwhelmed. It was heavy, there was a lot to take in, it was very somber, the whole direction of the album was interesting, it was a little more electronic at times, but a lot of ballads, not really a lot of in-your-face heavier songs, not too many even super catchy riffs, just more interesting instrumentation in the background. The second time I heard it, it completely clicked for me. I actually listened with headphones the second time versus the first time where I just threw it on the turntable. And with headphones, I heard so many little tiny things in the background that I didn't notice on my first listen, and it really brought the album together for me. The guys did it again, you know, they're my favorite band for a reason, and I'm really glad that it won me over. At first I was a little worried, but I picked up that limited blue variant of the album, and happy I did. It looks really nice. It matches the sleeves really well. It's like, it's partially translucent if you look under light. It's not completely, but yeah, National did it again. Good work, boys. You guys have been asking me to talk about this for a long time, and I hope you're not going to be mad at what I'm about to say, but I finally got my hands on Remo Drive, which is the emo rock revival band that you guys have been all raving about in many videos that I never mentioned them in. You guys just want me to listen to it, so I did. I managed to secure the pink vinyl, and it was fine. It was okay. I enjoyed it. It wasn't necessarily a bad album by any means, but you guys might have overhyped it for me because it just didn't really like win me over in a big way. I listened to it and I was like, yeah, that's pretty good, but I wasn't exactly stoked on the purchase. Maybe I bought prematurely. Going back, I probably wouldn't have even bought this on vinyl had I listened to it the first time. It's definitely a good album. I think they might be better live. Maybe after I see them live, if I do, they will unlock for me, but overall, right now, it's okay. It's average. I apologize. Let's talk some music news. I got a couple cool things to tell you guys about. First off, I just want to say a quick rest in peace to Charles Bradley. You were a pillar of the music scene in modern funk and soul and R&B, and your music will live on. Thank you for all of your contributions, and rest in peace. Chance the Rapper has released a new track with a live performance of it on Colbert's show. Now, this is an untitled track, and I advise you to go listen to it immediately. It is beautiful. It moved me emotionally just watching this video to a point where I had tears welling up in my eyes. It was absolutely gorgeous, exactly what we need at this time. Chance knows how to deliver the feels with the beats and the vibes. He is bona fide brilliance, and I recommend you listen to that performance ASAP. Maybe there's a new album coming. Fingers crossed. The Album Leaf, a down-tempo minimal electronic band that I really, really love and I've talked about before, has just reissued their first 2 albums on vinyl. They've been out of print for quite some time, and if you go to Pledge Music, I'll actually leave a link in the description. And no, I'm not getting a kickback from this. I'm just a huge fan of the band. You can get both of those records on beautiful variants, and you should before they sell out. There's 900 of each, so they're going to be around for a little while, but I recommend you give them a listen. And if you like down-tempo, if you like beautiful modern classical-ish electronic music, Album Leaf is going to blow your mind, and you're going to want to get these because they've been out of print for a while, and if you don't get them now, who knows how long they'll be out of print for again. I managed to get the limited bundle that had them on gold vinyl signed by the main person in the band, Jimmy Lavelle, which is exciting, but unfortunately that is sold out by the time of this video. I apologize, but make sure that you still go back and check out what they have in stock. And finally, Wild Beasts are breaking up. Wild Beasts are a band that I have been a fan of since early college. Really unique vocals, indie pop, just the strangest arrangements and vocal parts that you've ever heard. Bordering on psychedelic vocal melodies, but with just a very solid, dark, brooding, interesting, vaguely electronic backing instrumentation. Now, Wild Beasts have a lot of albums. Their latest one, Boy King, was my least favorite of all their stuff, but if you go back to their early albums, Two Dancers, Limbo Panto, Smother, that stuff is just brilliant. It's just oozing with emotion, and I definitely recommend checking them out. They're breaking up, so they had a great run, and now's a good time to dive in and see what you missed. I did not get all the records in this month that I thought I would. Some stuff must be shipping late, I don't know why, so the haul is not quite as large as I anticipated, but I have some really cool things, including the first ever B-side giveaway. As I mentioned before, Sly Vinyl is one of my favorite music blogs. I mean, they might as well have a main line directly into my wallet. They post all of the best limited vinyl releases all the time, updated every day, and most of the stuff I want to buy, I'm able to hold back on some, but if you want to boost your limited record collection, they are the best place to go. And they've also been pressing their own records with bands that deserve vinyl pressings and don't have them for one reason or another. They remedy that, and they did that with an awesome band. Hazy Mountain's release, Small Hours, is their most recent release that they're about to have up for pre-order. This is a synth-pop shoegaze band that incorporates so many chill vibes. I mean, that sounds like such a cheesy thing to say, but just give this one track, and you're just gonna melt into the sounds. It is just beautiful, and it never had a vinyl pressing, so they were like, we need to fix this now, and they did. They're doing 2 variants. They have a larger run of mixed random colored vinyl, of which they sent me some pictures of, and the random colored vinyl looks amazing. It almost looks like hand-poured records. This is the one that I got in my standard press. It is like this cool gray marbling, but if you look at it really closely, it is not just your standard gray. I don't think I have a record that looks anything like this, but they all are completely different. They have ones that are blue, some that are yellow. It's any color, so that's really exciting. It's almost like a lottery for that. But if you're incredibly lucky, they're going to be putting up a small amount of copies that are a deluxe edition with unique artwork that actually are done by wax mages. Wax mages are an incredible group of people that are making these vinyl variants that are so forward-thinking, stuff that no one else can do or has done. And they're beautiful in many different ways. This one in particular is one of the craziest records I've ever seen visually, because it looks cool and then you put it under light and move it, and the way that it shimmers. Let me just show you guys. This is the alternate artwork for the Wax Mage variant, and they're all numbered. There's only 29 copies of this. This is number 9, and they're going to go exceptionally fast when they go out for pre-order, so make sure you're ready for it. So it's a clear record, and it has these streaks of different color in it. This is a technique that's never been done before. When you look at it on an angled level under light, it just shines this incredible iridescent color all over the record, and it's mesmerizing. It's like metallic and glittery and shiny. This is such a beautiful record, and I mean, the music itself is wonderful, but having something like this that matches so well with the aesthetic, I can't recommend enough trying to pick this up. If you know, it's gonna go, I think, in a minute. So be there at the pre-order time if you want it. As I said, there's a giveaway, so super simple to enter the giveaway. Leave a comment and say whatever you want in your comment, but make sure you listen to the Hazy Mountains album, because I want you to tell me what your favorite track is. Any comment that says what their favorite track is, and why, ideally. You don't have to put why, but just list your favorite track in your comment, and you will be entered to win a copy of this early. A week from this video release, I'm going to pick a random comment that posted their favorite track on Hazy Mountains, and I'll be sending you a copy of the standard random color release before release date. So you'll be getting it before the record actually will come to you if you purchase it. So that's really cool. I wish you guys luck. It's super easy to enter. You're gonna love the album, especially the track with saxophone. Next up, I want to shine the spotlight on a label called 1,000 Arms. Now, they are a boutique high-end vinyl label, much like Elusive Sound from the last B-side, where they focus on beautiful packaging, aesthetic, and of course sound quality of their releases. I want to highlight their release, The Ascensionist, by the band Ranges. Ranges is a post-rock band. If you don't know what post-rock is a genre that uses instrumental, sweeping, building highs and lows to create and craft these stories without any form of lyrics, and I love post-rock. Some of my favorite post-rock bands are Explosion in the Sky, Godspeed You Black Emperor, Caspian. I mean, the list goes on and on. But Ranges came on my radar now, and I gotta say, this entire deluxe package, which is now sold out on their site, however you can buy the standard still, is just out of control in terms of what they offered with it. This was the box that came for my deluxe, with these awesome mountain prints on it. Let me tell you what was inside the deluxe version of this pre-order, which, like I said, never seen anything like this. First off, this was limited to, I think, 33 copies, because this is number 22 of 33. They included a handcrafted ceramic mug. This thing is so pretty. It is so well, like, it just has such a nice feel to it. It's not a lot of coffee I can fit in here, but it'll be good for multiple refills. Really nice.
Or alcohol.
Or alcohol. This is just a really, really pretty mug. That's not like a cheap mug you'd find at a souvenir store. This was actually like made by someone who knew what they were doing. This is a box I'm familiar with. This is a cassette tape. So yes, it comes with the album on cassette as well, which is awesome. I never listened to post-rock on cassette. I don't know how well it would translate because of the lo-fi nature, but I'm definitely intrigued, and I'm going to give it a listen. Some of you guys might remember what this thing is. This is a CD. This came out before vinyl did, and people used to listen to this digitally, I guess. I don't know. I'm probably not going to listen to this, but it's a CD of the album. They gave the Ascensionist blend of coffee. This is a bag of coffee grounds that's made to accompany the album. This is unheard of. Who does this? That's the logo from the album. Oh, and of course, this shirt I'm wearing is also in the deluxe package. Star of the show is, of course, the record. It wasn't just all of that without a record. Why would I talk about it? Comes with a really nice felt slip mat. Very high quality, very thick. This is one of the best slip mats I've ever felt on like a quality standpoint. Some of them you feel like it's just coming off as you touch it, just little tiny like nappy kind of things. This is like a high quality felt slip mat. If you don't know what a slip mat is, you put this on top of your turntable. There's a couple different kinds. There's felt, there's cork, there's rubber. I use a rubber one, but I used a felt one for a very long time, and there's nothing wrong with them. I think it's a great solution, especially if you try to avoid static. And the record itself, it is just beautiful. They took the records out so it had no seam splits in transit, but yeah, this is just such a like a rustic. This gatefold is just absolutely stunning, and I mean, it's a thick spine. You can read it from afar. And the record is just like, it's such a nice marbled cream color. 45 RPM, the sound is magnificent. This is such a well done release. I recommend you put this label on your radar immediately and grab anything you can from them, because these are not just good bands, these are collector's items, and you will love everything you pick up if you enjoy the genre of music they put out. The album itself is terrific. I went on a journey. I love when a post-rock album isn't generic and it actually, when you close your eyes, listen to it, you can feel almost a story happening. That's just, the sound is building it, and every time you listen the story is slightly different, and I really liked what I heard the first time, and I can't wait to go back and revisit it soon. I told you guys I wanted to show this off in the A-side, and I'm so happy to do it right now. This is your psych rock of the year, King Gizzard. You guys are amazing, but move over because there's a new sheriff in town, and that's the Psychedelic Porn Crumpets. Strangest name of a band, but that doesn't mean that their music isn't incredible, because it is. This is High Visceral Part 1, and I have Part 2 right here. These two albums are just the crunchiest, catchiest psych rock that I've heard probably all year. That's including King Gizzard albums. Some of these tunes are just stuck in my head. The melodies are just so fun, and this record has sold out so many times on their Bandcamp. This is like the 750 to 1,000 copies of their pressing. It's the 4th pressing of this. I'm so happy I got it before it sold out again, because these are going for stupid prices because people know how cool they are. This one is on 2 discs. It is this really cool translucent orange. Some of the earlier pressings were even cooler than this. They had all kinds of different colors and splatters and swirls, and I missed those, which I'm a little bummed about, but just having this music on vinyl is enough for me, because I would have been devastated if I just missed the press completely. The other side is a translucent blue, which they really match the cover super nicely, with this kind of gradient of psychedelic bliss that makes up the cover. Really nice gatefold. Just, they put a lot of thought into this. As a relatively new band, it's not just cashing out, just getting their record out on vinyl. No, this is actually something where they were like, we want this package to match the music, and it does. That's Part 1, but there's also Part 2. Also another really cool, trippy cover. This one is only 1 disc, but that's quite okay. This one is on a beautiful plum. Translucent plum. I love records of this color. I don't have too many, and I think plum is an underrated color for the record.
Oh my god.
If you like psych rock, please give these guys a chance. 1 song and you will be hooked. I guarantee it. These records sound beautiful. They look beautiful. Do whatever you can to get a hold of them. And if they're still in stock, which I don't think they are, buy them immediately, because you will not regret it. Good work, Psychedelic Porn Crumpets. Come to America. I would love to see you live. I wanted to show off this beautiful ambient techno album, Bvdub Heartless. This is just a really cool variant. Bvdub is Brock Van Way. I've showed off some of his records in the past, but this is just such a nice, I mean this cover is just this beautiful like forest with snow, and I mean this matches the way the album feels to me, and I think the record is another perfect, it's like a clear sky with snow falling on it. It's one of those things where they couldn't have picked a better variant. And I think this was only limited to 150, and I think it might still be in stock. So if you like ambient music, definitely grab this now, because I can't see it being in stock for too much longer. And finally, last but certainly not least, if you guys are longtime fans of this channel, you might remember this band, Fort Vine. They were our first Artist of the Month before we retired the segment because nobody watched it. This band is comprised of some of the most talented and humble and kind musicians I know, all of which I am happy to call friends. I'm incredibly close with the singers, Trevor and Nina, and this is their debut album. It was not on vinyl, but thankfully, through a campaign on Feed Bands, it won their Artist of the Month, and it is now on vinyl, and I'm so stoked for them. I love this album, and I'm so honored to own one of the limited versions of it. It has really nice inner sleeve with that poly line, which I appreciate, and I actually suggested this color scheme to the gentleman at Feed Bands, and he went with it. So this was kind of a little bit my doing, not fully, but this was my idea, and I think it's executed beautifully. I think it looks so nice next to this cover, which I was actually there when Trevor was painting the image that became the cover. Little fun fact. Sounds really, really good too. It really does the album justice. It's a short album, but it makes you want to listen immediately again after. It is so catchy. It's soulful, it's indie folk, it's indie pop, it's indie rock. It's just super unique because Trevor's vocals and Nina's vocals intertwine so nicely together, and they're so calming, and the music is so innovative. There really isn't anything like this album, and they're releasing their new album, I believe, in the spring. So look forward to more from these guys. They're gonna blow up. Try to get a hold of this now, because once they do blow up, this is gonna be a collector's item. Congrats, guys. That was the B-side. Hope you guys enjoyed it. As usual, I would love a comment. Let me know what you picked up, what you heard this month, what you thought of the things that I picked up. I would love to respond to them with something either funny or stupid, depending on your point of view. And please make sure you enter the contest. I want one of you guys to win this awesome album that I'm giving away ahead of release date. Details are going to be how to enter again in the description if you don't want to go all the way back in the video and re-listen to what I said. Thank you for watching. More videos very soon. Bye.